Hello, good evening and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio. Hello, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio. I'm Southside and joining me on the show this evening, we've got a prince and a king, my big mucker, Big Stevie for the drum, and the legend, the Bridgeman. How are you, Stevie?
I'm brand new. Welcome to the Dream Team Wednesday. Brilliant. I'm looking forward to the night being on with my fellow Drub Chapel man. How are you, Bridgeman?
I'm absolutely brilliant. It's really good. I'm looking forward to it. Working with Big Stevie. Fantastic. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world, good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
Aye, before I start, I'll give a shout out to the troops on the YouTube channel, Aldo, Philip and Williams in the channel and also good evening to you lads. I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. How are you, Stevie? How's your week been?
How do you think? After that performance, what can we do, mate? The warning signs were there against Dundee, weren't we? Our defence is like a tea strainer. You know, so in big deserts, if he's not got his shooting boots on, man, we've said that a million times, man's an enigma.
Aye, it was one of the performances, wasn't it? We're leaking goals up to then, as we've seen, Bridgeman. So it was just one of the results that some people probably seen coming. I was hoping it wouldn't. I was hoping that we'd have been out there and win. But we missed sitters and we let in a stupid goal to give them a kickstart, and then it was just downhill for there. So that was my take on Saturday.
Now, can I just say exactly the same as you guys are saying? An utterly dreadful performance by every single member of our team. Every single member. Not a pass mark for me, not one.
Can I ask you?
Go, Stevie.
Can I ask you, man? What's happened to Butland? Please, somebody tell me what has happened to that guy, man. What has happened to the big one?
I don't know, maybe since he had a new addition. Maybe he's updating the feeding during the night and know the misses, I don't know. He's miles off it, isn't he, Biggie?
Oh, the way he's playing, he's doing the breastfeeding. I'm telling you, mate, he's I don't know what's went on there. He's went for a good kind of confident goalkeeper last season to just absolutely. I mean, he's no breeding confidence in the back line at all, is he? You know, and let's be honest, I've got to say, and I'll say it again, and I hate doing this, but you've got to tell the truth. We need a full back five. We really do. We need a back five. Honestly, Gefty's no the answer. We Red Van's no the answer. Your goalie's all over the place. He's dropping the ball, whether it's in the net or to a player, one in every 3 games now. Let's be honest, proper. No for me, no commanding enough. Suter, probably keep him. He's about the best out of a lot of them, I would say. And Tav, let's be honest, they're not doing Tav any favours if he's going to be here another year. They're not doing the guy favours at all because he's a yard off at the now and he'll be a yard and a half off at next season. Trust me, he's getting older. The sins of time waiting. No, man. We need a full back five. People going about, we need a couple of centre halves. We need a full back five. Believe me when I say it.
I said last night to a couple of the boys on the show, I think once we get this game out the road, tomorrow night, I think I'd like to play NCL on the left-hand side of the defence, Stevie. Stick him in there. The boy Fernandez and all, who we've not even seen yet, he's did a fleeting appearance. We're meant to have him on loan. We have a chance of buying him. We've not gave him any game time. So we're going to be playing Aberdeen and then we play the top 5 again. So we might as well start flinging some of the boys in and let's see what they've got and see what it takes. Because if they're not going to learn in the next 5-6 games playing regularly and giving them a chance, then we're not going to give them much chances after that. When we start to try and bring players in at the start of next season under a new manager, he might not go with them. He might just go with players he's going to bring in. So that was the way I seen it begin.
Aye,
Can I come in on that? Oh, sorry, Stevie.
On you go, mate. On you go, Brad.
No, I was just going to say that the words we need defenders. I've been booming them out for the last 4 or 5 years now. Particularly, we need a decent twin centre half. Our defensive minded. We need that, and you'll see Butland would play a lot better behind the defence. Our defence is creaking, and it's creaking every time anybody comes anywhere near our box. It's creaking. And you're right about Suter, and I'm no a Suter fan at all, but I'll give the guy his due. He's the only one that's actually getting there in time to do whatever's needed. The other ones are injury prone now, and I'm afraid that when they're on the park, they might not last a full game. But we do need two centre halves, 100%. We need two centre halves, and that wee boy in Ciala, I'd have him at left back in 2 seconds. I'd have him at left back, no problem. And Tavernier, I've said before, Tavernier's brilliant. He's been brilliant for the Rangers, but he hasn't got it anymore pace-wise. But there might be a place for him if you push up forward a bit into midfield, but don't expect him to come back. Maybe be an attacking midfielder, that kind of thing, where he doesn't need to worry about coming back in general. Because he's actually a nightmare in the box. When he's in the box, invariably the ball ends up near him and it goes into the net. Anyway, that's me. I'll say that's what I'm saying now.
No, listen, I do think we do need defenders, and I think that'll be something that'll need to be addressed. But going forward, we need to get something together that's going to work and be dependable. But obviously, it was a bad result. We heard Barry; he wasn't too chuffed after it. Quite emotional, straightforward. And I know he had a press conference today. So what we'll do is, if you two guys would like to go and mute, we'll listen to a portion of the start of Barry's interview today, and then we'll come back to talk about it, if it's all right with you guys, if you like to hit mute.
Yep.
Barry, good to see you. You said on Saturday there you were absolutely raging after that performance. You've had a couple of days to sort of stew on it. How are you feeling now?
Better. Saturday and Sunday, as I said, were really difficult. We get in on Monday morning and let's just say we had a long chat, and I heard my views, so did my staff, and so did the players, which I was happy with, because I've said before, I think we've been too quiet, so it was good. And then we got to training Monday, obviously, to prepare for this game tomorrow night.
We know how you feel about it, given what you've said sort of on multiple occasions now, but from what the players said to you, you say you're happy with that. Could you give us a sort of inclination as to what you got back from them that's made you a bit more positive?
I would rather keep it in-house, if I'm being honest with you, but I just thought at the time was right to go and spend a bit of time with them, go through a lot of things that I'm clearly wasn't happy with, and it's good to get their point of view as well, because we really need to get to the bottom of it, because it's been a real issue. But as I said, I came out of the meeting, training was bubbly on Monday. That's what I want. I don't want MD moping about and being unhappy. There was a lot of things said, and then again we had a good training session on Tuesday. We're totally clear in what way we're going to approach the rest of the season, not just tomorrow night. And today's session, again, I come away from really happy with.
Can you give us an idea as to how you're going to approach the rest of the season then?
Yeah, I knew you were going to ask that. You'll see 75 minutes before. You'll see when the team comes out, and you'll see when the game starts.
And just finally from me, it is the $1 million question, but are you able to, you've been at the door for a couple of months now, are you able to put a finger on why you're getting these mixed performances, the highs to the really low lows?
I've got a good idea, and that's why I done a lot of thinking over the weekend, and that's why I held a real good meeting with my group of players and my staff. And as I said, there was a lot of things that came out which was good, because I want people to be opinionated, I want people to debate with each other, and I found it really helpful. And now, hopefully going forward, I'll start to see a bit more consistency, because that's something that we've certainly not showed over the season. We've done it, played really well, if I'm being honest with you, in some games. In other games, it's just been a total different team. And that's something that, as I said, that hopefully we've got to the bottom of. We can move on. That's in the past now, and we need to obviously look forward to the future.
Barry, one of the big things I picked up on watching that performance again on Saturday was how negative the team becomes within itself. Individuals will not try and break lines, they'll not try and be aggressive in forward passing and things, and they seem to come right into their shell, which means they go backwards, side to side, easy things with the ball. Having analysed that, do you agree with that, and how do you fix that?
Yeah, I think it affects them when you go a goal down early on, or a mistake happens within the team. I think it affects the team. And I keep saying to them, there's plenty of minutes left in the game, and I want to see players go and take the ball in difficult situations. Look, I can accept mistakes and I can accept poor performances, but what I can't accept is people going and wanting the ball in difficult circumstances, and that's something we've spoken about at length. And as I said, hopefully going forward you'll see a difference, but the proof will be in the pudding come tomorrow night. But I'm expecting a total different performance tomorrow night, and it's not just in European games as well. I know what you're talking about domestically. 5 games without a win at Ibrox, it's just nowhere near good enough.
The second thing I wanted to ask you as well is there's been obviously a lot highlighted on individual performances. One of the biggest ones, obviously, the goalkeeper, and at the other end, the striker.
Yep.
Cyril Dessers, I think his conversion rate in the last 3 games is 1 in 20 odd chances. At what point do you decide, yeah, it's great that we're getting in positions and things, but that you have to switch up? Because we have Danilo sitting here that you've not really given a chance to yet. Are you considering maybe game time for him?
In terms of Cyril, I would be more concerned if Cyril Dessers didn't get into the positions. That's what I've been concerned about. In terms of, am I considering other people to play? Of course am I. I told you on Saturday that there will be some changes. You just need to wait to see what the changes are tomorrow night. But listen, I've told everybody now, there's places up for grabs. You need to, when you go into my team and you play, you need to earn your right to play in the team. And I've had to make, or I probably will have to make, some difficult decisions going forward. I've had to make some difficult decisions since I've come into the job. But it's one thing I'm not afraid to do, to try and better the team. But I've got a job to pick the 11 that I think is the 11 that will go and win the game. And that's what I've done for tomorrow night.
Gabs?
Barry, looking ahead to tomorrow night, the Europa League's been a shining light in the season for this club so far. How important is it for you and for everyone here that you do try everything to reach that semi-final?
First and foremost, I think European games have been at a high level for Rangers this season. They've performed really well, and what an opportunity they've got. Started watching Bilbao Monday morning. I don't know how many games now we've watched as a staff. They're a very good team. We're under no illusions that it's going to be a tough task. So we've worked hard over the last couple of days on what we were going to set up in terms of stopping them dictating the game, because we're at home and we have to dictate the game to them. We have to take the game to Bilbao. So, yeah, we're set up, and we're going to give it everything to try and get a good result to take over there next Thursday.
Barry, can I ask you about Jack Butland? You were asking about there. I mean, is that one of the big decisions you've got to make? Have you had a conversation with him specifically? And where do you think his head is at right now?
I'm not going to say whether I've had a conversation with Jack or any other player. You just need to find out. Listen, I'm not going to sit up here and tell you this is who I'm going to play and this is the formation I'm going to play. I'd be crazy to do that. So look, we'll just need to wait and see the decisions that are going to be made for tomorrow night. But what I will do is I'll make a decision based on what I think is right for us to get a positive result. And in terms of players make mistakes and players maybe underperforming, look, that's part and parcel of football. It's tough at times. Look, I've been through many stages myself, and there is a few players maybe not playing at a level what they would want and what I would expect. But in terms of changes, look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you what's going to be happening.
Is it fair to say, though, why that's something you are having to think about, or because it's the goalkeeper, is that a different situation?
I'm having to think about the full team, Robert. I'm having to think about the full team. I said that on Saturday when I come up and done my presser. I was angry, I was frustrated, I was a mixture of emotions. I thought I raised some of that out of our game, but look, it was clear. It was clear as day that you could see that there's some issues that we had to sort. And hopefully the positive week we've had, the positive 3 days we've had together, we'll see that difference tomorrow night.
And do you think, finally for me, do you think that the players have seen the anger that you've shown in the back of the weekend, and is that maybe going to get the response that you're looking for? Because they've seen in your eyes what it kind of means to you and what it should mean to them.
Yeah, not just me, my staff as well and the supporters. I mean, the place emptied on Saturday. And when I'm standing at the touchline, that's tough. That's a sore one to take when you see your own supporters. And do you know what? I can't blame them. So, us as a group, me as a manager, we're the only people that can do something about that.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Just to let you know, phone lines are open, so hopefully we'll get a few callers in tonight, guys. Plenty to talk about, obviously. Stevie said he had a long chat with the players. We've heard a few managers say that, get a few home truths out. In fact, he said players were quite willing to interact with it and had stuff to say. Thinking that it's hopefully going to be a positive outcome.
Well, Southside, me and you we've been here, seen it and done it before, played brilliant, and then it's one step forward, 3 back. It's all right, them sitting down as a group and maybe as individuals, but it sounded as if he was talking about a conglomerate, so it sounds as if he had all the staff, everybody concerned, and they all opened up and they cleared the air about needing to get their fingers out. But talk is cheap, my friend. Talk is cheap. We've been there too many times with different managers, different players. They need to find a consistency. How they do it, I don't know. I mean, I just, fair enough, wee Barry sounded sincere, it sounded as if he's doing the right things, coming from his background and everything else. That's fair enough. Let's see what happens on Thursday night in Southside. Let's see what truths and what anger and emotion they had in them when they had this talk. Let's see what comes out on Thursday. Surely they're going to come out and fight and die for everything on Thursday night to get us into this semi-final. The wee man seems to be saying the right things, right? He's disappointed, gutted, the support left, and that's sore for him. We get all that. But if they're sitting down having a heart-to-heart and a clear the air and a few home truths coming out, surely they should get into this game on Sunday as if their lives are in line. No, surely they're going to go and run their socks off and leave everything on that part, blood, sweat and tears.
I'd like to think Bridgeman players like Ignaman, Diamondi, Connor Barron, Gefty. I would think Sterling probably would have a bit to say for what we've heard before. I'd like to hope that the players proper talk up a bit, because you know who the ones you'd expect in the dressing room would be speaking up, like Butland, like Tav, Dessers, Balogun, you know, so it's the lesser players that I would like to think would have a bit to say back to Barry and have the conversation along with the rest of the players to clear the air, and hopefully they had a lot of valid things to say and take criticism when it was gave out, but maybe dig some of your teammates out and all, you know, and see how they react to that.
100%, pal. Look, as far as what I see when I'm watching the games and how our players are playing, is, you know, the people I would hope stood up, 2 of them, I would hope they've stood up and explained what's wrong with them and on the pitch, or what's happening to them, what they feel. As Igamani, he has got to start. He's one of the most talented players in Scottish football at the moment, and we're playing him as a left winger. Sorry, that's wrong. In my opinion, it's wrong. And the guy can't do it. The expectation is sky high, and I don't understand it. However, they've done it, and they're doing it to him. And what do you call them? Cyril Dessers. What on earth is Cyril Dessers doing? And I hope he stood up and tried to explain to the group as to what the problem is. Has he got a problem, or should anybody bother passing the ball to him? Do you follow what I mean? We know he can score goals. We've seen him scoring goals. We know he's no bad when he's fighting for the ball, but a lot of the times he's out for it. A lot of the times he falls, or he gets tripped or whatever, and he's moaning and groaning to the referee. These are the kind of things I want these players to come out and say. Big Sterling's been played for us at right back. He's played for us at centre half. We know he's got a big weakness, so he shouldn't be playing at centre half. However, we don't have any spare centre halves, so we're in big trouble as a club. But I don't imagine that Big Sterling would say too much standing up, because he seems a big quiet boy anyway. Our left back Yefty has got a lot to answer for, because sometimes he's in such a poor run of form, he can't gather the ball. When he tries to run it, he falls over it sometimes. So there's a number of players. Young Connor Barron, unfortunately, young Connor Barron, hasn't fitted in, or they haven't found a place for him yet, and they need to find a place for him. They need to give the boy a chance, because he is a very industrious boy, and we should be working to the player's strengths. Obviously, we know these things don't always happen. They don't always run 1, 2, 3 scheme, you know. But it has to be done. The manager's got 4 or 5 people beside him, coaching and so on and so forth. They should know every single player and what every single player is capable of doing. They should know that by now, but it doesn't look like it. So I'd be really interested if someone took a sort of tape of that or recorded it of that meeting and what he's done, and it comes out later, because I'd love to hear what they say. It is difficult. I know it's difficult, but you've got players like Danilo, who's hardly getting a kick of the ball on the park. And for the last 3 games or 2 games, Igamani's been stuck out in the left wing, so no getting a kick of the ball. And it's the guy he can turn in a tanner, who's just on the edge of the box, and he's got a ferocious shot. And he scored a couple of goals for us. Why are we not playing there? Why are you not sitting right in the middle of that box there? And obviously not offside, but the ball will come to you. But no, he's out wide somewhere. And Rangers are just wasting him. He's just wasting him. That's my opinion.
I think you maybe forgot, if you remember back last year, Sterling called out the dressing room bridge at Dundee, and had to come on and say he was a bit young, maybe naive, and but he said in it, if you remember, he called out someone not having a bottle in the dressing room. So, yeah. But no, Ignaman Stevie, listen, I think he's played left before, probably playing up front. His main position will be centre, but if he was coming on for Morocco, and he's coming out wide left because of the striker that plays for Fenerbahce, Nazari or something, as our main man, he'll go in there and he'll play in the left. So sometimes you've got to adapt. I agree. I think you'll get more out of him if you play him through the middle, but he's a different sort of striker. He doesn't run on the shoulder of defenders like Dessers does, lets the ball come across. He more or less takes spotty feet. He very seldom runs in behind. It's all give me it and I'll try and turn, or give me it so I can go at a player. So he is that different type of player for Dessers. And I think he is a bit out of form playing in that position. So I think we need to find him, get him back into form, and it'll probably be to play him through the middle. But it'll be down to the management team, Stevie.
Aye. Well, he's definitely strengths in the middle of the field. I can only agree with yourself and Bridge. You'll see the best out the boy playing him in the centre of the park there. I don't think he's much caught out in the wing. I really don't. To be a wing, you need a bit of pace too, and I don't think the boy's blessed with pace. So for me, middle of the park, he can power that ball down his chest, he can turn, he can do the business in the middle of the park. And as Bridge rightfully said, the boys get some shot. We seen it at the Chamber of Secrets, didn't we? What a dig that was. No, took the net off. So, listen, it is what it is. He's a young boy. He's trying to learn his trade. More internationals. I mean, listen, you can't buy experience. And the more he plays with the team and the more, but you've got to play them in the right position. Bridge mentioned Connor Barnes there, right? I disagree a wee bit. I just think Connor Barnes no crack none at all. He's just no doing it. He's no cracked on. He'll run all day and night for you. He'll cover every bit of grass, but I just don't think he's learning. He's Gifty's another man that's no learning. I mean, many times is he going to get caught at the back post with guys running in behind him and putting the ball in the net? How many times? I mean, it's just, I mean, his strength has gone forward. He's got pace to burn, and yet he'll never just hit that ball, head down and run by most of the defenders. He'll just no do it. He's another man. I know you're saying that he's young and all the rest of it, but how long? How many goals has he got to give away, or goals coming down that side before he's going to learn and start getting his finger out? Look, we're teams for front of them. See, listen, we're goalkeeper. It's a shambles now. The main two positions in a team is your keeper and your centre forward. And let's be honest, can you trust any of them now? No, definitely no. You couldn't trust Butland now, and you couldn't. A player, somebody summed this up for me lovely. Says, Stevie, last minute at Ibrox, you've got Deserts running through in goal. Are you confident he's going to stick it away? No, I'm no. And that's just how it is.
I know.
Story.
The more time he has to think about it, that usually lets him down.
That's it.
I think sometimes I look at it, Bridge, and I think we're playing as individuals again at times. And I know he's tried to get them playing, and I'm hoping this mad summit that he's had on Monday and they've all had their say, then they'll maybe become more a unit. Because sometimes I just think players pass balls, they put their horn up, but they're not going and supporting at times. So, and like you said, he's good down if somebody makes a bad pass or we could go a goal down. So something's got to change attitude-wise, but I think we've got to try and play more as a unit. And I was interested for Barry to say that he'll totally be clear on how we play for the rest of the season. So it'll be interesting to see. I take it starts tomorrow night, but I'm more interested in the league game. The game's tomorrow night, it's a massive game. But I look for their attitude when we go to Pittodrie on Sunday. No, at 12 o'clock kick-off. And you're back to playing your league games. That's what I'm looking at as well. That's where they're getting judged more harshly with me on that Sunday when we go to Pittodrie, Bridge.
Yeah, look, when I think back just the last few weeks, and I think that one of the cleverest players that we've got in the team, one of the cleverest players I see in our team is Diamandi. And you see Diamandi when he's on form, he normally is up maybe 3 or 4 steps up from where he is at the now. Because I don't know where he thinks he's playing. I think he's maybe in his mind he's playing in midfield, but he's actually just in front of the defenders. Well, but then he got someone just in front of the defenders. You know what I mean? So where are you going to really play? So by the time he manages to get 10 yards up the pitch to where he should be, game's over for him in that sense, you know. He needs to be in where his favourite position is, probably 10 yards behind the number 9 and running in. That's what he should be doing. I think he's a lovely player. I think he links up very well. But for some reason or other, he's getting stuck in a sort of defensive midfield role. Now, I don't know whether I know you guys go and see all the away games. I don't get that chance. But the home games, when I see him, I think he's a really clever player, but you find him getting lost. I'm not saying every time, but there's a lot of the times he's lost. So when he comes back to help with defence, he never makes it back up again for a wee while. So it takes him a couple of minutes to get back up to the proper position. But that time, a lot of plays happen. And I just want that guy to play where he's supposed to play. Give or take a few yards, but he's got to play there, and he can spread the ball about. And he's a lovely passer of the ball most of the time, right? But if he's not in his own position, then you find the ball going out the park because he's angry. He's in his mind. He's hitting the ball out there, and the fullback should be 5 yards, 6 yards, 10 yards up, and he's putting it 10 yards past him. This is what I see in him. I'd love to hear your idea of how you see Diamandi playing. And obviously, he's got a lot of needle in him. You can hear him nipping away with the other players, the opposition that is, and before you know it, there's digging each other and things like that. So I'd like it to cut some of that out. But overall, Diamandi, for me, one of our better players, skill-wise, one of our better players, but he's getting wasted or he's wasting the game himself. One of the two.
It's just unfortunate he's suspended tomorrow night, Bridge, along with Suter. So it is a blow, because I think in European football he's been good. But to be honest, as much as we're looking through the team, and we know that there is bad form domestically, the European form has been really good. And apart from Leon coming to Ibrox and beating us 4-1, our record since we started the competition when we beat Malmo, obviously Leon came and they were a decent team, scored a couple of cracking goals, and they're good forward players. We had chances in that game, Stevie, to get the lead, but I thought overall, looking at that night and looking back at the games that we played, the Olympiacos, we go and we get a 1-1 draw over there, and we should have won that game. And then we go to Nice and we beat them 4-1. So at that time up to then, the team were playing well domestically. We're still having up and down results. Obviously, we get Tottenham at Ibrox, which a lot of people didn't fancy. Playing a Premiership team, although their form wasn't great, they're still in the competition. And we get a 1-1 draw. And then we go to Manchester, as we know. I've seen you down there. Remember, we're gutted when we came out, because we thought we're going to get the draw that night, and then we carried on. We get a home game against Union and we beat them 2-1, and we put Fenerbahce, beat them 3-1 away, 3-1, and then get beat 2-0 in Ibrox. So we've had some good teams to get to where we are, considering this squad that we're pretty criticising at the moment. In Europe, we've done really well.
Southside, you know as well as I do, right? This is how I sum it up, right? Our form in the league is woeful, and it's simply because there's not enough iron in our team, right? Now, Bridge is talking about Diamandi. Diamandi's a football player. His best performances have been in Europe by far. That's because you get more time in the ball. Teams are interested in playing football. They're not out to hate you, break you in two, and fight, lie and scratch, because there's elements of kiddie fiddlers and all these different teams. So they go out there and they do everything, the Rangers. And our boys are not up for that. Our boys, see, when a game starts to get dirty, you'll see Diamandi fading out the game. You'll not see Connor Barn. You'll not see certain players. They'll fade out the FDs of the world. They're not strong enough. They've no got it. Listen, I've been banging this drum now for a God knows how long. When you go to Kilmarnock on a Wednesday night, whether you're playing in the old Plastico or no, they teams are out to kick you all apart. You know, it's guile that gets you through the games, no silky soccer. You can't get to play football in these games. It's fight, determination and application that get you through these games. And you'll find out that our teams don't got enough fight in it. They're too nice, far too nice. Yeah. We can get up for the big game. We can get up for Celtic. And they've not been a problem this season. All right, the first game, couldn't find our feet with them. Beat them 3-0, and then we beat them 3-2 in the Chamber of Secrets. We're proving that they're not a problem. It's no them we're losing this league to. It's consistency against the smaller teams, which we go out with the wrong attitude. They've not got better players than us. Man to man on paper, we should beat them all. It just tells you we're going out with the wrong attitude, and we're not putting enough fight in. These wee teams are fighting, lying, scratching for everything, and our players are not doing it. We're too nice. And in Europe, that's why we're doing brilliant in Europe, because teams are no interested in the dirty side of the game. They're out playing football against you. And when teams try and play against Rangers, we're always good at catching them. And that's how we're getting results against good sides. We're punching above our weight. You've got to give them a credit. They've been brilliant in Europe, and in that competition we have been for so many years. But it's because you're getting to play football. And in Scotland, Motherwell, St Johnstone, and mark my words now, we're going up to Aberdeen next Sunday. They will kick us off the park. They will stand above our players when they bring them down and laugh at us. They'll do everything. They'll be around the referee. If they score a goal, they'll be doing with cramp. They'll be doing the dark arts. Our players haven't got it. They've not got it when it comes down to the dirty side of the game. And that's why we're not consistent.
Aye, well,
He's
been trying. Listen, you've been banging that drum for a long time, no, and I know you're right. I think once you get a true identity, a style in play, and you're doing things repeatedly when you've got most of the ball, it'll start to become easier, and we will get to break down teams. I just think, we're a wee bit disjointed, and our team's no built that way at the moment to go at teams, although we keep a lot of possession. We have got players, but for some reason they're not always on the part and they're not pulling their weight at times. And maybe Barry will address it going forward, and we might see a change bridge. But European-wise, even when we looked at the start of the season for the rebuild, and you looked at the squad, and you knew it wasn't going to be good enough to go on all fronts. I thought the league would be hard enough to put in a sustained challenge. Consistency was always going to be the issue, and we started off at Tynecastle and we dropped the points straight away. But that aside, when we looked at what we had to face in Europe to get us to where we are now, we played a lot of the top teams that finished in the top 8 in that group. Bilbao, I believe, never played any of the teams that finished in the top 10. Although lately they've played Fenerbahce and they've played Roma, so you can tell with the calibre, the quality that we're going to face. But I think for this squad and what we achieved away from home and to Ibrox and to finish 8th in that group, I think it was a phenomenal achievement by the players, and hopefully tomorrow night we've still got another big effort left in us.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. I think I've got no problems supporting the Rangers. When I say supporting them, I mean praising them, because I think their trips in the European theatre have been nothing short of outstanding. Ibrox has been absolutely jumping, and they've made it happen, those players. And by the way, for the last few seasons, we've been very good in Europe. So I don't know. My problem is what happens when it comes back to the league games. The same players playing virtually in the same position, and they switch off. And it goes back to some of the stuff that Stevie says. And I don't think there's anybody can deny what Stevie says. We're getting bullied. They allow themselves to get bullied, and they won't. When you expect somebody to go for a 50-50. Sometimes they do it because they're a wee bit more confident at 1 minute than they are the next minute. But if they get a knock, they're not going to go back in again. The boys that we've got in our team, they'll not go back in again. I think Raskin does it. He's very good at that. But the other ones don't. They're no interest in doing these things. And that's much like Stevie says. I think it's a sin. I think it's a sin that we've not managed to get a pool of players with some real quality, shall we say, defensive midfielders in it. Guys that will go and grub for the ball, fight. That's what you need. You need two half-decent midfield players that can actually fight for the ball in defence. And when the one that wins the ball can look for the one that's no fighting at that point in time to give the ball. Get to the players. That's what I used to say when I was playing as a centre half. Win the ball, get to somebody that can play football. Because I'm a centre half, I can't really play football the way they can. Somebody silky and so on and so forth. Just give them the ball because they'll do it better than me. Unless I just want to batter out the park. But normally, if you want somebody to pick a ball up and do a 25, 30-yard run with the ball at their feet and sort of dizzy two people, then midfielders are very good at that in general. That's the way I look at it anyway. I just feel we've got at Ibrox with the fans, we've got dreamland where we're in the European thing. We just love it. We well know that the noise is incredible. That normally the game's brilliant because you're talking about top quality players that are coming to Ibrox, and we're actually matching them. Over the two legs, we're doing very well, and I'm delighted for that. I'm afraid the rest of it, to lose 5 games in a row at Ibrox, and maybe was it 2 and 3 of them, or only one of them rather was a European game. The rest of them all been in the league, and that just shows
one in the cup. One in the cup, Bridge.
Won the cup. Well, you know what I mean. They're not European. That's what I mean. You know. So we've got one in Europe that we lost to Ibrox, and the other 4 were the shall we say, home teams, and that's not good enough. We know it's not good enough. We know. But that's just dichotomy that any coach that comes into our team, into our club, has got. How's he going to do it? Well, I think some phrases were used at the start of the programme where they need to clear it. I don't know if I was a manager in another team somewhere, would I buy any Rangers player based on their home skill, Ibrox Park, playing Ibrox Park? Would I? Probably not. But when you see them in Europe, it's a different ball game. It's like something strange, and I can't put my foot on it. I really don't know. I can't put my finger on it, should I say, what it is. I just want them to change. And if Barry Ferguson can get the boys to change and play really good football and the league games and Scotland Cup game type thing, then that's fantastic. Because it would be really brilliant to see Rangers going through a season the way they could go through a season before and toe-to-toe with them across the city and eventually win the league. That's what I want to be it. But you need to be able to play football. You need to play football and play hard football. And you've got to be fearless. You've got to be fearless. And don't. Oh, we've said it all. So that's how I feel. We've got 2 different types. Because in Europe, as we know, slow the game down, play nice passes, and so on and so forth. It's a different game, different style of game, should I say. Whereas in the league, it's 50 mile an hour rushing up, you know.
Well, you did mention Barry Ferguson and trying to change things and that, so we'll quickly listen to the last part of his presser. I think it's only about 4 minutes or something, and we'll hear what he had to say. All right, if you 2 guys would like to go on mute.
Barry, I know it's a different competition in different teams, but obviously one of your old colleagues and teammates, Mikel Arteta, last night, and what Arsenal managed to do. Do you take inspiration from old colleagues and friends and teammates who do special things like that? Would you watch something like that last night and get inspired by it?
I never even watched the game last night. You know what I was watching last night? Yeah? I was watching Athletic Bilbao, that's what I was watching. But I seen the result late on last night. Look, he's doing a brilliant job. What a result from against clearly the favourites to win the Champions League. Do I take inspiration for that? Listen, it's great to see ex-teammates in jobs where they're under pressure to win games. Brilliant to see. But my only focus is on this club here and making sure that I get a reaction from what we all seen on Saturday. Again.
Hi, Barry, don't worry. You told us that Athletic is an incredible team. What worries you most about the Athletic?
Look, they've got, in my opinion, they've got quality all over the team. Certainly in the wide areas, you've got the 2 brothers Williams. They're going to be a real handful. But I look at midfield, technically very good, very hard working, defensively really solid. So we know as a group of players that we have to be at the top of our game to try and get a result.
Barry, obviously you said you'd watched all of Rangers games before you came into the club. You know, you saw them against Spurs and Man United and Lyon. How do Bilbao compare to them?
Good question. Yeah, I would probably say they're the favourites for the competition. So we know we've got it's a tough ask for us. But these games, I keep going back to it, as a footballer, as a coaching staff, as a manager, these are the games you want to be involved in. You want to go and pit your wits against some of the best, and I think they've got real quality in their team. And I've said that to the players over the last couple of days. This is what being a footballer is all about. These big nights at Ibrox, the fans coming in, their support, playing under the floodlights, can't get any better.
Barry said before the last round that Fenerbahce were going to be a step up on anything you'd faced, or Rangers had faced previously. Mm-hmm. Can you give us an idea where you see Bilbao in relation to Fenerbahce?
A step up again. That's me being straight, a step up again. I watched both of them played each other. Watched that game. Look, Fenerbahce, in my opinion, were, as I said, one of the favourites, but when you go and you watch this team, as I said, they've got a very British style about them. They can go and play out for the back, but also they're not scared to go long. So we need to be ready for all aspects of that. Can we stop them playing out? If they go long, can we be physical against them and make sure we're handling the runners? So these are all the different scenarios over the last couple of days that we've went through. And the guys are clear in what they have to do to try and get a positive result tomorrow.
Barry, you mentioned the sort of issues that needing addressed and the changes you may have to make. I remember you mentioned on Saturday that wasn't a Rangers team that you saw. Is there a mental aspect to that? And is this team, do you feel, mentally strong enough to perform, be a Rangers team, not just now, but going forward as well?
I've seen aspects in certain games mentally strong, but other games they're just way off it. You can't be like that. You can't. It's not just a switch that you can turn off and on, and that's the case. That's what we've done. As I said, the big games are the ones generally are the easy ones that you don't really need to motivate. It's the other games that's became a real issue, and that's something again that we spoke about as a group at length, and hopefully we've got to the bottom of it. Sorry, should I say?
Martin and Chris to finish, please.
Barry, you talked about the changes that you might make, and obviously you won't go into detail in that. Has there been any temptation to go with the same guys, or is it just a case of you've maybe had enough?
Yeah, there is that part as well, that when you give such a poor performance that you'll go and give them another chance. There's also thoughts that have gone through my head that they need to change it, whether that's personnel, whether that's system. And as I said to you after the game, it was a long couple of days for me, but I was more than prepared to make sure I get this right. I need to sort this. I'm the guy that's sitting in the hot seat tonight, just now, and I'm the guy that's tasked with making sure that we start to get results on a consistent basis, because I keep going back to it. That's been the Achilles heel all season. There's been issues, and clearly when I thought that I was getting there, that obviously we suffered that result, and we give that sort of performance. So as I said, there's been a lot of things going through my head. I've went and made a decision which will be in my shoulders, and then we'll hopefully see a real positive performance and result from what way I'm going to go about it.
Barry, you mentioned the fans and the crowd a couple of times. Can you still count on that backing after 5 successive defeats here? And is there a fear, for your perspective, that the crowd could actually work against you rather than for you on a night like this, given what they've seen and what they've experienced of late?
I've no fear in terms of them coming and supporting us at the start of the game, but we have to dictate from the stands. We need to go and give a performance, and if we do that, then the fans will get right behind us. And as I said, I've no issue. That was tough, standing in the touchlines, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, watching the place empty. I can't be having that. My players can't be having that. That's a sore one to take, and that's been in the back of my mind since Saturday. So I'll go back to what I said. Myself, my staff and the players, we're the only ones that can affect that now going forward. So when you come into certain games, I honestly believe that fans can accept you no playing at the level, but what they can't accept is seeing a team dig deep, run harder, tackle harder, all the things that I mentioned on Saturday. And that's what I have to see from my team going forward. Because if that's not going to be the case, then you're not going to be in the team.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Aye, there'll be a big decision, Stevie, if I ask you. Do you think you'll drop Butland? I think that's what everybody's waiting to see. Will be the big decision. I think there'll be 4 changes roughly in my head, 2 enforced, obviously. But Do you think Butland will start, or do you think he'll drop him?
Well, hopefully he drops him. That's just how I feel about Butland now. But I don't know if he will or no, because I think if he drops him, I think that might finish Butland's career. If he drops him, mate, I can't see any way back for him. I really can't. You think about the mistakes, the one in Europe at Ibrox, Manchester, he lost as a cup final. You know, it's just 5, 6, 7, 8 different types. You could go on. I just think if Barry drops him, it's telling him something. No, I don't know, mate. I really don't know. Dropping him, would he come back and be a better goalkeeper after getting dropped again? I don't think he would be.
If he gets dropped, in my opinion, he's not playing the rest of the season. He can't. You know, Kelly's into the end of the season then. That's it. You know, you can't take him out. When do you put him back in then?
I know.
You know, Liam Kelly came in, plays well, and he plays Aberdeen, goes and plays the return game. Whether we're in it, whether we qualify or no, he's still got to go and play the last 5 games in. And Jack Butland would need to be sitting on the bench, because it's the other way you bring him back in at any point. If he makes that decision. Bridge, don't know what you think.
Well, in all honesty, and I'm talking to the heart now, and not the head, I must admit, I don't see them dropping Butland. I think I'm in line with you guys and your thoughts. If he did get dropped, then it was his own fault, because he's had quite a poor couple of decisions he's made where he's dropped us in the you know what. So I don't think Barry would drop him. But if he did, I've not got a problem with it, because but I don't think he'll drop him. But it's only my feeling. But listening to what you two guys are saying, and you guys are saying, he does deserve to be dropped, because he's not been bringing it to the table every time, you know. But I just look back to the last European game, and I thought he was excellent for us. And here we are in our European game. I just don't see that. I'd not to see to drop him. I don't see it. However, I've been wrong before, and I'll be wrong again for sure. But I don't think he's going to drop him. I don't think so.
Aye, the easiest thing for us to look at as supporters, but say his form's miles off, as we all know. Dundee was enough, never mind Saturday against Hibs, you know. They two in the last couple of games alone, bread and butter stuff you expect your goalkeeper to deal with. I just think, in my opinion, I think it was a league game coming up, and we didn't have this European quarter-final. I think Jack Butland would probably be dropped. If it was just league games left, I think Barry probably will go with him, just for the experience factor. They're a big team as well. They score a goal when they play a home and away game. They play a home and away tie, they score at least one goal for a set piece. The top European scorers. I think if you were maybe thinking Butland height wise, and maybe getting to clear the air talks, and knowing that he owes another big performance for the team, I think Barry might just go with him, Stevie. Just in my opinion. But I think if it had been a league game coming up and that'd be born in the quarter final of this Europa League, as in Aberdeen, I think he'd be dropped.
Aye, I totally agree with you. Everything you're saying. Definitely, it'll not drop him, but I'm saying I would drop him. I would drop him. But I think Barry Ferguson's stuck between a rock and a hard place. Because if he plays him and he makes a mistake and it costs, everybody will say, what was he doing in the team? And on the other shoe, you know, if he plays and he does the business, then Barry got it right, you know what I mean? If he plays him, you know, but I just think he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. The fans, no matter what, the fans will give him a hard time. No less we win, you know what I mean? No less that we come up trumps. But me personally, on his form, should have been the teammate. He's been honking. He's a liability. And he's a better keeper than what he's been performing. Put it that way. I'll put it a nice way to you.
Well, he's got no loyalties to Jack Butland because, as the contract said when Barry went in with his backroom team, it was to the end of the season. So that's what he's there for at the moment. And he'll probably not be there at the start of next season. I would imagine the takeover because they'll have a manager.
You're Barry Ferguson. You're going to play the best team possible he thinks going to get you through that tie. The way Barry Ferguson's wanting a job, mate. No qualms about it. He's wanting to get that job, right? Him and the troops there, his staff, they're wanting a job. There's no two ways about it. And the only way he's going to get considered for that job now is get through another couple of rounds in Europe. Trust me. That's the only way. So, is he going to keep Jack Butland in the team? I would say so, because he's most experienced goalkeeper in Europe. So he's played all the games, isn't he? So he's definitely going to keep him in the team. I wouldn't. I would drop him. I just think he's hopeless. He's no good enough for the team. Definitely no. And that's just how I'm at. That's just how I feel about the big guy now.
He's a bit like the team. Inconsistent in the league and plays well in Europe. You know.
Yep. Isn't it strange, guys? Isn't it strange? That he was shall we say, our talisman at the beginning of the season. He was the one we were saying, if we're going to sell him, you know, he's the one who gets the money, 15 million quid or something like we were talking about. And here we are, we're talking whether he should actually get a game, you know. It's quite amazing how it's changed, you know. But we run a bad form or whatever. I just don't understand half the time what happens in the life of a goalkeeper. From it, sort of said at the tail end of last season or close season, he was going to be a major money getter. If we wanted money, we could sell Butland. The English Premier teams would be waiting and knocking the door down. And here we are, as Rangers fans, we're saying, no, he's not good enough at the moment for the team. Yes, Pat?
Rich man. We've been spoiled by goalkeepers, right? You know, you could get through them for Chris Wood, Stephen Klaus, Andy Gorham, right through. They guys made one mistake a season, maybe two, right? This guy's making every 2 or 3 games. This guy's giving the opponents a goal. There's that. I mean, we've got to be honest. We're giving Cyril Dessers a terrible time. Get rid of him. He's hopeless, and let's be honest, he has been. He's an enigma. There's no time to think what a player you've got in your hands. His numbers don't lie. But let's face it, we're getting the big game at tight for missing cert after cert. The goalkeeper's doing the same thing. So you've got to be honest and say, well, if you're wanting big Dessers away, you've got to say your goalkeeper or not. And it's
100% agree. Yeah,
it's 2 key positions in your team, Bridge, man. You know,
100%. Absolutely.
That's what the killer is here. I mean, if you're going in form, it shouldn't be in the team. But Bridge, yourself and Southside's totally right. I think Barry will play him because he's the most experienced keeper. He played all the European games, and I just don't think he'll do it. I don't think he'll drop him. I think he'll go with it, and I think he'll say to him, you owe me a big performance. I think the truths will come out that way. I'm keeping you in this team. You're my number one. Get out there and do the business for me Thursday night. I think that's what will be said behind the closed doors.
The thing with Jack Butland is he's having moments and big moments in certain games. He's not got the consistency level that we expect for a Rangers goalie. We dominate most of the games in Scotland, or we had been for a long number of years in the players that we watched. So apart from that, we'll pick it up back in the second half, because if you 2 guys would like to go on mute, it's time for the tune.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see what the Rangers really mean to me in these last few years. I've been afraid that we might drift away, so I've been telling old stories and singing songs that made me think about where we came from. And that's the reason why I feel so very proud today. So let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Ibrox Stadium is calling me, and now I'm coming home. To think of life without the Rangers, you know that it would make me more sad. Glasgow Rangers, you're everything I've ever had. We won 9 in a row, and I'm still dreaming of Brian Laudrup and Trevor Stephen. Big Marvin Andrews said keep believing. Davy Cooper on the wing. And we remember Gaza with great affection. The day the helicopter changed direction, and Jimmy Baxter was pure perfection. Super Valley scores again. So let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Ibrox Stadium is calling me, and now I'm coming home. To think of life without the Rangers, you know that it would make me more than sad. Glasgow Rangers, you're everything I've ever had. So let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Ibrox Stadium is calling me, and I'm coming home. To think of life without the Rangers, you know that it would make me more sad. Glasgow Rangers, you're everything I've ever had. Without the Rangers, you know that it would make me more than sad. Glasgow Rangers is everything I've ever had.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
That was just, I think it was played for Albert. That was played for Albert for the Techie team. I don't know, he's still not taken to it, Stevie, yet.
Aye, it's nothing to do with me, Albert, because I know you'll be sitting in your Elvis onesie listening. It's nothing to do with me whatsoever. I'd have played the Totties and Mash for you. There you go.
Aye, there's been a good few renditions of that around the stadiums. Birmingham, 9 minutes it lasted. Seen like they had a guy videoing it for their end. Also up there a couple of weeks back across the city, and also down at Manchester, Stevie. And the boys didn't even have a drum in because they didn't let them in with a drum. But it certainly belts out around stadiums, doesn't it?
Oh, it's a fantastic tune, man. It's brilliant, especially away days. See all the boys away days, that drum's gone, and it's brilliant, especially when you're winning, man. And you're happy, you know. Chamber of Secrets, that was brilliant, man. The Bears singing there, that was absolutely bring a tear to a glass eye. That's all I'm going to say.
Ibrox Stadium is calling, and now I'm going home. Hey, hey, hey!
Your Selbridge.
Brilliant.
Aye, looking forward. Aye, Atletico Bilbao, believe it or not, we've only played them once in the Intercity's first cup, 19th of March 1969. I think you might even have a programme bigging.
What's it?
And I'm sure Bridge was at that game. I certainly wasn't, and I think probably you were probably about 2 or 3 years old, Stevie, getting pushed about in that Silver Cross pram about that time.
Silver Cross. You couldn't afford a Silver Cross then.
Oh, you could.
Excuse me. Aye, brilliant.
Any prams in the drum get made into a bogey.
That was exactly what it was. You take
Sledge.
the back wheels, I'll take the front wheels.
Anyway, Bridge, I'll give you a wee tester. We beat Bilbao, right? Can you remember much of the many of the team?
Oh, God.
Or will I give you the team? Would that be easier?
Tell the team, that'd be better.
Norrie Martin started in goals. Kai Johansson, Wally Matheson, John Gregg, Ronnie McKinnon, Dave Smith, Wally Henderson, Andy Penman, and the front three were Colin Steen, Alex Ferguson, and Wally Johnston.
Alex Ferguson, elbows, Mr. Elbows. Alex Ferguson.
62,842 was the Ibrox that night, Bridge.
You know, it was no seats, shall we say, on the stand. So they still had the old, you call them, terracings and things like that. But it was a wonderful stadium even then, a wonderful stadium, brilliant. I loved it, by the way, I loved it. And you know, in 1969, let me get this right now, 69, in the pre-season, we played Tottenham Hotspur, Ibrox, I'm sure of it. Wait a minute, I might have been earlier, but no, I mean, I'll forget that one because I can't remember now, right? But we played Spurs pre-season, and they brought in big Scotsman Gozine. Oh, Ure. Jeez, what a team they had, you know, Jimmy Greaves. They were just fabulous. So some great players have played for Rangers and against us. Just brilliant. Andy Penman, strangely enough, Andy Penman was the first time I'd ever heard of he had to take injection. What was that for again now? Oh, it's something quite common anyway, you know, for too much sugar in the blood or something like that. Penicillin, no penicillin. No, that's not it. What was it for? But he had to take a daily diabetes. He was diabetic. He had to take that. That's the first time I'd ever heard it. He came from Dundee, didn't he, Andy Penn? I think it was Dundee. A great player, by the way.
Scored the second goal that night. Alex Ferguson scored the first goal after 7 minutes, and then Andy Penman scored the second goal. And John Gregg missed a penalty, Bridge.
Oh, he'd be raging. He'd end up running in the fight for a goalkeeper or something like that. You know, we were a good outfit. We were a good outfit, really. And yet, we were quite, I would say, on a change, you know, because I think Ferguson left us the next season, or the tail end of that season. I think Ferguson left us in a huff. That's what I think. Because I think the manager was it David White?
David White was the manager of Bridge, aye.
Yeah. I think
I heard one person come on, substitute, and within 2 minutes he'd scored, and then Colin Steen scored a minute later. We beat them 4-1 in the quarter-finals at home.
He was a very exciting player to watch, that boy. My goodness, a lot of good pace. Orange, big orange, carried away, you know. Superb, scored some good goals for Rangers, and made some, you know. Lovely to watch, lovely players to watch, these guys. Kai Johansson, top class.
Is that a two-legger?
Aye, we beat them 4-1 in the quarter-finals, Stevie, and then we get beat 2-0 there when we went through 4-3 in aggregate, so I would take that.
Aye, so would that, all day long. Yep, I've got the programme in there somewhere. I should have brought it out and given you the Bilbao team and everything. So no, not done my homework. I can only apologise.
I wonder how much it cost to get in. It'd be interesting if it went that way.
The programme was £1.
The programme was £1, was it? So I know that the most expensive I've ever paid to get into Ibrox, and I'm not being funny when I say this, I think it was 10 bob to watch the Real Madrid game. 10 shillings. Because normally it was like 4 bob or 5 bob to get a match, into a match, you know. 10 bob.
There you go, the dearest. Look what we're paying now.
Oh,
£35 to go to Aberdeen.
I just paid for my season ticket and it skint me for 2 years.
Bridgeman, can I just say live on air? Anytime you want to go to a away day with me and Southside, we'll sort you out. There's a couple of chopped pork rolls there. Not a problem.
Well said, pal.
I'm sure me and Southside can kidnap you for a day and take you up to Dundee or Aberdeen. Not a problem.
That'd be wonderful. Well, by the way, a wonderful thought. I would let you know on that, of course. I'm not, you know, my legs don't carry me as well, particularly the long walks when you're away. When you go to away, you're probably about 3 miles away from the stadium by the time the bus dumps you off. That's the way it used to be anyway.
You'd be all right for Aberdeen Bridge. They just park you right in the car park next to the ground. You're walking about 100 metres, 100 metres to the turnstile, mate.
That wouldn't be so bad. Many a time up in Aberdeen, oh dear. And I used to go up away games, a lot of away games, and I was with the Peel in Drumchapel. The orange Peel bus. The orange Peel bus. The times they get put off the road is unbelievable.
What a bus that was, Bridger.
Oh boy. There was the big shouting up, we're ending up driving down Maryhill Road or something like that. Right, stop at the next licensed grocers. Drunk on the drink before I get the Candyburn Cross, you know. What a crowd. Great fun.
Needed a toilet back in the days, Bridge, yeah?
No, he just stopped it, obviously, as you know, he just stopped the bus and everybody out.
Aye, piled off.
Everybody back in again, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the police were waiting in here. Oh boy.
Stevie was shocked when he came on your bus and he seen it had curtains.
You're joking.
I think I've seen this. Honest to God, border non-stoppery. Why is see the bus they get earlier? I'm going to tell you.
Is it the team's bus? Is it the team bus? A Parks?
Oh, it could be the team bus. It's that good. You bring the table down and it holds it up and all that. And, one charger on the seat. In the seat.
Oh, brilliant. So you never told him about this?
So technology now, Bridge, you know what it's like.
Oh, brilliant. You're lucky you got a seat.
Aye, that's the new one with chargers are next to the wee bit that you can bring down and stick your soft drinks on and your sandwiches on, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's comfort, isn't it? Because I mean, you're travelling quite a distance in general. You're quite a distance. You're not always going to go to Love Street or something like that, you know. So you're nearly always going away.
The ladies on the bus down the front, they can plug their hairdryers in these days and on them, Bridges.
You got ladies on the bus as well?
There's a couple, there's a few down the front, aye.
Come on. Why did they come on the bus with you?
Because they go and support everywhere, home and away, that's why.
I wouldn't allowed any woman on the bus with certainly the Peel, for God's sake.
For half of all the Rangers fans in Drumchapel, I can only apologise. Oh, why
don't tell them any more about Southside and the good buses and that, because they'll be raging.
They don't dare fit my care this bus, they put the heated seats on.
Oh, well said. Well, that's really brilliant, by the way. Superb. I love it.
Oh, well, you've seen the prizes sometimes for the cards, haven't you? Some of it's quite intellectual reading.
Oh, halfway.
Colin Stein and Alex Ferguson. Wow. Two good centre forwards. Two good goal scorers. £66,000 Alex Ferguson came to Rangers. 60. That was a record at the time when he signed. And then the next one was Colin Stein, £100,000, another record. Hey, what Rangers didn't have break records in the Scottish transfer, didn't they? No. Yeah,
Alex Stein governed, wasn't it? Harmony Row.
That's right. Came by Harmony Row. Aye. By the way, I was in the league when I was a youngster. Played in the Scottish secondary leagues, you know. Secondary juvenile. We always played Harmony Row. It was always a battle. Always a battle.
You know, he went to Govan High.
Oh,
tough place. Tough place to be brought up, Govan, in these days. I mean, the Darren Mountain, kill a man for a gyro.
Kill a man for a gyro. What you were saying on the radio, you?
Govan team.
Oh, aye. Wayne Alley.
Wayne Alley, aye. Oh, God. They were bad people. But at the time of the disaster, it was a disaster, Govan came to life insofar as assistance and things like that concerned. The cars, which there wasn't that many cars compared to today, but the walking back down the road with a couple of guys beside it who get caught on the crush and so on and so forth. Very, very lucky, these guys, very lucky. And all the way down, it was like there was very little traffic on the roads. It was just amazing to see. And you got to Govan Cross and the place was lined up. A lot of people just want what's happened, you know. Just amazing. And I can't remember the pub right at the cross. Went in there. We watched it on the telly, a wee bit on the telly there. It was telling us what was happening. You know.
Of course, we lost one guy for the drum bridge, young Robert Mulholland.
Young Robert, yeah.
16.
Tragic.
Aye.
Well, I've got some more tapes for you for Robert, for his cause. You can sell them for us.
There's two players actually that played in the game in the Intercity Fairs Cup. The goalkeeper, midfielder, Iriba. I'm going to butcher this other one's name probably. So I'll not even bother trying. But they two gentlemen are still at the club, believe it or not, in capacity. I think one might be the president or something. One might be in directorship or whatever. But they two laid briefs. They two laid briefs today.
Really?
In memory of the Ibrox disaster and 1902 disaster. So they've done that today, and they're actually going to be at the game tomorrow night, and they actually played the last time Rangers played Bridge.
They deserve a round of applause. That's fantastic. To even do that, what I think they do, come and lay a wreath at Ibrox. Oh my God, it's fabulous. The people think, you know, and you know, people in the game and football know about these things that happen to fans, and it's so personal. It really is just quite bit. Yeah, and I think what's been happening to the likes of the Liverpool fans as well, they've had a terrible time. They're only getting things cleared up now after all these years. It's just dreadful. Losing 94 people they lost or something. Jinx Crimmins. Oh, please go past that. Let's go past that, will you? Talk about John Gregg.
Aye. Well, as we go forward, obviously tomorrow night, I think there's something happening behind the Copeland about 6:30 or something. Tomorrow night, Steve, you're in about the stairs or something.
That's correct. They're having a get together, a party. So anyway, Big Steve will be there with his tap after the bouncy. No, not a problem. I'm with the boys. I'm with the youth.
Is that weather permitting, or is it just generally?
Oh,
taps off.
No matter. Taps off. That's it. Half bottle. Get in there with the bells. Get yourself tuned up. By the way, when I heard the Bridgeman singing tonight, I thought, my God, I could play a wee flute there in the background. Bridge is no bad. We could put a Bob.
Love it.
Well, James from Tennessee's learning a tune as well and hoping to
James
play it
from
on his
Tennessee.
guitar.
Oh. The only person that's better than James from Tennessee is Russ Abbott.
Yeah, don't listen. James gave me some magnets and I tell him I would defend him on here. Listen, he's
defend
improving. I've heard it for myself. He is improving. So, and he's certainly not the worst. But he does have to improve a bit. He knows that. So, but I've told him, no, Stevie, the colour of the magnets need to change. I know it's Tennessee, but it needs to change the colour.
Aye, I'll tell you now, the magnets were a total disgrace, the colour in them. And I will say, James is a trier, by the way, a cracking guy, a good, decent guy. But I'll tell you what, his singing's like trying to baptise a cat in water.
What I think you say?
Oh, yes. I'll tell you what, man, he better be careful, because if the Rangers are going out to America pre-season, he might end up with some visitors.
Well, he did say we were welcome. If we're ever there that way, he certainly said we were welcome to pay him a visit. So,
Can you imagine the scene? Can you imagine the scene? Me and you pressing the doorbell with a bottle of tequila rose and chocolate rolls on there. And his wife answered the door.
aye, seen no taps on and a pair of shorts, the flip-flops.
Aye. What a man James is. Good bear. By the way, 10 out of 10. He's been to 2 of your big charity nights. Or the wife of Tennessee. But by the way, you've got to give him 10 out of 10. But his singing's woeful.
I was waltzing with my darling to the Tennessee walls.
You're on the karaoke next time for the night out, Bridge.
No.
You're on the karaoke.
I just love all these songs, by the way. Superb.
Bridge, a black belt at karaoke.
Brilliant. Well said, Stevie, well said.
Oh my God. Right, where are we? This is descending into chaos now, so where are we?
Wow, but we're at the old game. 63,000. Alec Ferguson scored the goal.
You have that programme, didn't you? I'm sure I seen that when I had a wee look through that wee collection. I think you've got that, haven't you?
I've got it. It's worth a couple of bob. I might sell it and take Bridgeman up to Aberdeen with his director's box stuff, no?
He'll get a welcome up there, all right. It's bad enough being a coach for the director's box.
There might be some words said, I better not go.
Like the last time we were up there, they get ourselves sick.
Aye, I know. Terrible reception in the way out, and it's terrible.
I said to the big mouthy Paulus, I said, why the long face? Oh, here he comes again.
He's talking to him, oh God, no.
It's usually quite hostile up there. I'll give them their due, no. We don't usually get treated that well up there. All stems back for just their hatred for us, because I never really gave them much of a thought, if I'm honest. Apart from when they hate us, but I never really bothered about them. Do you know what I mean? For years back, we used to go up there and stay weekends and stuff. And now and again, there might be a couple of wee incidents, but on the whole, you never really get any grief. Then it all changed, obviously, when Graham Souness came in the door, and after the Durant scenario with Neil Simpson, and that's when it all changed. Changed probably for us as a support and all, but before that, I never really gave Aberdeen a thought, if I'm honest. Stevie, in years gone by.
Nope. I'll tell you what, but the absolute, they've got vile, they've got the vile stomach for us. Can I just tell you, what do you call a sheep at a bus stop in Aberdeen?
Oh, no. Don't.
The old ones are the best.
No kidding, Southside. Let's be honest. Their fans, any of them get interviewed, they absolutely hate us. Whatever's in their head. As you said, but I don't even give them a thought. They're nothing. They're absolutely nothing. It's not as if they're any rivalry. There's nothing. They're absolutely nothing to us. And they've got this thing in their head that they hate us more than their own. They'd call the Dundee United and their rivalry. What do they call that? The New Firm or something? It used
That's
to
what they
get
called
called.
them, yeah, the new firm, the new firm.
Talking about the new firm, Stevie, we might as well say hello to our guest
no.
that's just popped in, part of the new firm. Evening.
Good evening, Southside. Big Stevie and the legend that is the Bridge Man.
Good evening to you, Alex. How are you?
I'm fine. It's AK to you, Bridge.
It's AK, I'm sorry.
I'm only kidding, pal. I'm only kidding.
No, it's all not. It's AK. I do apologise.
No, no problem. Listen, I was just I was watching some football there on the telly Southside. It wasn't the Champions League. I tuned in, Stevie, to an amputee World Cup. England against Afghanistan. It's 1-0 to England, but I don't know whether there's a second leg.
This is shocking, by the way. We'll get put up in here.
There was a guy with a hoopie there on my part leg.
Look. Anyway, what's your experience of going to Aberdeen, AK?
It's bloody cold. Oh dear. Forgive me, guys. I missed a bit of the first half of the show. But I caught some of Barry's. Well, I've listened to Barry's interview today. His presser and that. And see, for me, guys, see if he doesn't make strong decisions with this team tomorrow night. Do you know? I think there's a bit of ego in his face because his words after the game was scathing. He's saying there's going to be changes in the team. All right, we've got a couple of forced changes with Suter and Diamond have been suspended. But for what I made his presser today, guys, I don't know if you think the same. I think Butland's away. He's got to be. I think he's keeping Dessers. And the other intriguing one for me is, does Tavernier remain as our captain? Your thoughts? But before you give me your thoughts, I'll give you 8 examples of mistakes Butland's made this year, and you'll know them all because Albert's been on about them all season, and Oxford stated some the other night away as well. Hibs at Ibrox here on Saturday. Dundee away, spilled. Motherwell spilled, a tap in. Man United, punch one into his own net. Spurs, the first couple of minutes, dallied in the ball, and the boy get ruled out for nothing. St Mirren away, clattered a boy to give a penalty away. Celtic, the 3-0 game at the start of the season, is it Kyogo passed it for 30 yards into an empty net. In the Scottish Cup, he cost us last year with his Superman save that spilled straight to Ida. So that's 8 examples of Butland's mistakes, and we want to keep him. No for me.
I'll find 2 in before I come to Stevie. The one when Tav was getting slaughtered for trying to boot the ball when Maida just put his foot in front of you. I know it was a windy day, but see that day, I mean, our goalkeeper's getting beat. The ball's coming off his foot and he's in the middle of his goal and he gets beat for that distance. And I think Aida in the 3-each game, when he scored to make it 3-2 to them for the edge of 18-yard box, when he spun, just hit it low and went right underneath his body and all. But that aside, I don't think we're dropping the cat. I don't think Tav's getting the captaincy took off him, Stevie. What would you think?
No, I don't think Tav will get the captaincy took off him. No, but listen, I think Tav should be away at the end of this season, right? So that's the captaincy will be up at some point. I don't think he'll drop the captaincy off of Tav, but I'll tell you what, AK, I would drop Butland. I would drop him, but I don't think Barry will. I think the big changes is going to be where the players are suspended. I think he'll make that. He'll sit now that the dust settled and think, maybe I shouldn't have said that. I can make changes there where they're going to not be in. Listen, he wants the job. The only way he's going to get the job is getting a run in Europe because he's got nothing else, let's be honest. Beat Celtic. He's already beat Celtic and he's proved he can beat Celtic away. So that kind of monkeys off his back a bit. So the only way he's going to get this job is if he go. If he wins the Europa League, you've got to give him a job, surely. Surely you've got to give him the job. If he wins the Europa League. But if he doesn't, then I think he's gone. I really do. But for me, nah. Tav will not take the captaincy off of Tav because he's gone at the end of the season. So that's going to happen there anyway. But listen, as you mentioned, and do you know what really gets to me? You know what really gets under my skin? See when he wears that pink outfit. See when Jack Butland, the Rangers goalkeeper's wearing a pink outfit, a pink butler strap. That's no for me at all. Standing in a pink outfit.
Stevie, he looks like Mr. Blobby with that on.
So you know where your favourite colour? Just get back to yellow, big man.
Red, even.
Aye, red or yellow, innit? It used to be. Right, I'll tell you what, Alec. If you're going to go with a team, so what would you go with? I think you'll make 4 changes, right? I think there'll be 2 enforced, and I think you'll make another 2, and I don't think one will be Jack Butland. If he does, great. It's fine. I think it's deserved, but I think Jack Butland will stay in goal. I think he'll make 2 other positional changes outfield. So, what do you think the team will be, or what would you think? What would you set up?
I think the team will be, as I say, just listening to his presser today, I think he's going to drop Butland. I really do. He's got no loyalty to Butland. He didn't buy him, you know, and he's come in there and he's just looking at the mistakes that is in front of him. I know he's played the European games, but come on, has got us to this stage basically so far. So there's no loyalty there as far as our managers goes. But for me, a team that I would pick, I would be setting up a 5-4-1. And the reason for that is to accommodate the 2 Williams brothers in the wings. They are the most potent threat of that Bilbao team. So I'd be Kelly in goals. I'd be playing Sterling at right back. I'd be playing Inciala at left back. Tavernier, Balogun and Proper as your 3 middle defenders. I'd begin Raskin the captaincy with Barron. Bizrami just in front of him, and I think he's going to play Dessers again the way he spoke. I wouldn't. I would be dropping Dessers too, but just the way he spoke with Cherny there. So that'd be Kelly, Sterling, Tav, Balogun, Proper, Inciala, Raskin, Barron, Bizrami, who is another one people will be saying, why is he in there? I mean, you could drop him too. Baragamani, who's no playing well. Cortez, you've no seen. Hadji's no playing well. You're not going to bring in the boy Curtis. You know, he's not got a lot of options there, but that's what I think. I think he'll set up to stay in the tie. And don't be surprised if it's a 0-0 tomorrow night, because Bilbao will fancy it when they take us back to their bit, because that's the way they seem to come through games. You seen it the other night, Southside, a 0-0 away to Villarreal. You know, they were solid in the defence and they were resolute in the midfield, and they looked to hit on the break. I think I think it could be a game of chess. I think it'd be 2 teams just looking at each other all night and who makes the first move.
I think you'll be making your stay short in a minute, because Fox is going off his nuts since you just took the captaincy off Tav and gave it to Raskin. So he's no chuffed at
Sorry,
that, I don't think. Stevie,
you could lose that position you've got there, AK.
Your thoughts? He's got Enciala at left back.
No, I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. Don't ask me how. I can't even keep my reason, because the 2 that's there, the 2 that's been playing left back, Ridvan and Yefte, he can't do much worse than any of them. No. But I don't think he will.
It comes down to who he trusts. Who do you think Barry trusts out of that team? Who do you trust?
Nobody. That's how they're hot and cold, Ali. That's how they're, one game we're going, wow, we're on a run, we're on the right direction, and 2 steps forward, 3 back. listen, there's no consistency. You can't trust any of them. That's what I was saying earlier on. I don't know if you heard the show. Can you trust the big man running through 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper in the last minute of the game to put the ball in the net to win the tie? No, you couldn't.
Nope.
Big deserts. And you couldn't trust Butland. Butland's a bomb scare, man.
Is it a massive game then, if fling Kelly into? Because you're meant to be ready, right, and come in being called upon. And I'm sure he's been sitting at the sides, probably thinking, how man will get in a game now? Come on. I mean, when you're a number 2, he accepted the number 2 position, right? Jack Butland, on form, is the better goalkeeper. But when the better goalkeeper is making simple errors, then I would say that Kelly would have been thinking, hopefully soon now I'm getting my chance, because he's now flapping all over the place. But it'd be a massive, massive game for him to come into and say, right, come in, you're new, because they're a big team, as you know, AK, right? Centre defence, they're scoring a goal for a set piece in every 2 games in Europe. They're the highest at it in the Europa League. So set pieces, they can be dangerous, and we play zonal. So they've played against zonal teams and they're scoring goals against them. So we maybe need to keep height in there across the centre of our defence and challenge for everything. And is that which maybe tips Butland getting in a thought where he can come out and catch crossbars and no day the Man United special away and sort of command that sort of area compared to Liam Kelly. Maybe we'd have to make sure that we're covering him because he isn't the biggest goalkeeper to come out and maybe challenge for the ball.
But that's how I put Inciala in there. I know he's not played a lot of goals, but I'm asking myself, do you trust Ridvan? He's only 5 feet 0 or something, isn't he? You have to. He's a bomb scare, I know. Bridgeman, what do you think? I know you like your 6 foot plus defenders, but it's going to be one of these.
We don't have any. I don't know. You mentioned earlier on that you would be playing proper and Inciala in there. Obviously, we can't play Suter, so with Balogun proper and Inciala you had at left back. I've got no problem with that. My difficulty is, can we get proper in? Is he fit? Can we? Balogun was on the, what do you call it? In the interview. So the presser. So he'll probably be playing. I don't know if proper will be playing, but if they've got them, they should be playing because we need height in the defence. So to me, it'd be Balogun and proper. I agree with you, and I wouldn't have any fears of putting Inciala in there. I think it'll be a great left back. I think it would be, but you know he's the man that's going to pick it. Tab is the odd man out. The goalkeeper, of course, is the big odd man out. We don't know, but Tab's the odd man out because you know, look the way he's playing. When he gets forward, he is lethal, and he's actually picking ball up. He's passing it. He's good distribution, and he's no bad at tackling going forward. But my goodness gracious, if you put him back the way, he's murder Polish in defence. Murder Polish. Even when you ask him to come in and play at centre half, he doesn't know where he is half the time. I'm not trying to take anything away from him. He's been a fabulous servant to Rangers. But please don't play Tav in defence. Because a big European night and he'll get run off his feet if he's playing at right back. They'll run him off his feet. He is a weak spot. And everybody in the world knows Rangers right back is a weak spot in our team. And that's what will happen. They'll murder us down the left. Their left, that is. To hand back to Alex.
The boy Nico Williams plays out on the left, and Aki Williams plays down the right, and the two of them have got explosive pace if you stand after them. But Nico Williams is the sort of one that's getting many of the highlights now. He's younger than his brother, and he plays off the left, and he comes inside, and I just think that's the conundrum. I think that he's got to think about probably. Do you play Sterling? But the only thing is you hope that he doesn't pick a booking up because you don't know what the referee will be like. A couple of challenges on him if he's just late because the boy's quick. Does he pick up a booking? Tav, I think, would get too exposed. with the pace if he's not close enough. I don't want to play Sterling at right centre back because I don't think he does a job in there. I think Tav's been better in there, although I would rather no play any of the two of them in there, but one's got to at some point, Stevie. I just think, and on the left, the boy Inaki Williams, and the other boy, Sunati, the striker, he came on as a sub, but he's been their top goal scorer, and he batters defenders all over the place, and he's good. So as much as we talk about they've got good players on the wing, him through the middle is a real threat as well, and he does a lot of stuff to help out their wingers, batters defenders all over the place, as you were saying, what he does in Spain. He was playing in the 3rd division where they picked him up, and he's come in and been battering players all season in that Spanish league. Plus they won the Copa del Rey last year with a sort of squad of players. So they're a really good team, but we can't afford to stand off many of their players, Stevie. So I think we need to get it right across the three, but we need to get it right in the two full-back positions. So I don't think, for me, Enciala plays out wide left back for me.
Well, if I'm Barry Ferguson, right, he's already told you they've got quality all through their team, right? They've paid a couple of bob out as well, I do believe. So, for me, this is what I'm doing tomorrow. This is what I would do tomorrow. See the two boys, the two brothers that are the threat going forward. I'm saying to Big Sterling, let him know he's in the game. Try and not get booked early right enough, but make sure you let him know he's in the game. Put him up in Rose's head. Tackle, take a ball, take a man, let him know he's in the game. Just hope you don't get booked. And let him know he's... Listen, they'll not like that. They'll not like that. They're football players. Spain, you walk down to the halfway line without getting tackled and all that. So if I'm Barry Ferguson or I'm saying to Big Sterling or whoever's playing in that defence, see, I'm Rose, first time you're getting a 50-50, we'll get right into him. Let him know you're there. Don't breathe down his neck. Do the dark arts. Talk about his mother. Annoying him. Niggle away at them. Do everything. Because see if they're that good and they're that quality, you've got to bring them down to your level and your levels. Play the dirty side of the game and do it well. Just try and not get booked. It's hard today, I understand that. But if we're going to try and open up and play football against this mob, the way our defence is like a tea strainer. Let's be honest, we could have lost 7 goals up in Dundee. They hit the post, they got a goal chopped off, they scored how many? And then there against Hibs, they waltzed through our defence. So for me, if you need to let these guys, for the whistle blows, just put one of them up in Rose's head, let them know they're in a game, and hopefully that wings their neck clean in, and they get into hiding after that. There's things you need to do as a manager. Sometimes you've got to. I mean, look, Walter Smith. Walter Smith played defensive, but he got to a UEFA Cup final. You know, he done it with his brains to start that.
Aye, they're quite a good team at home, by all accounts, for what they've done in so far in Europa League. So had Betis when we went there and beat them, aye. That's the thing. Listen, we acknowledge they're a good team. We're just, our team's been up and down for the last number of weeks, and we're hoping that they're going to get the European forum back, aka tomorrow night. That's what we're hoping for, because one thing, the Grin will be packed tomorrow, and I'm sure everybody in that stadium will be loud and proud.
Of course it will be. It's a massive game for the club. They're not understating that. It's going to be a sellout by the looks of it, and 50 quid a ticket, basically. The club's making a lot of money out of it. But everybody's wrote us off. It's one of their games again. Our own supporter writing us off, never mind our rival support. So it's up to the players. The players have put the question marks out themselves because of their performances at home. Been 5 home defeats is, it's never been known in our history. So it's the players that's done that. No, nobody else. No, come on. No Barry Ferguson. They're going out there with the wrong attitude, the wrong application. We speak about it all the time on here. We're fed up kind of speaking about it. but they always come up with some sort of stupid result out of nowhere in performance. I mean, that Spurs performance earlier in the year, or last year, earlier in the season, was fantastic. If we could show up with that sort of performance, we've got every chance. You know, getting some sort of result against Bilbao, but that's the sort of level of performance that we need, and then we'll show up with a Queen's Park performance. It's frustrating. It's frustrating for us all, but listen, it's a 90 minutes. It's 11 against 11. I think we've got to go in there with a belief, a blind belief, if you want, that we're going to get something. If we don't show up there tomorrow night as a support and expect anything after our team, then why should we be expecting our players to think the same? You know, that they're going to get through. So we've got to be collective. It's got to be unified and just see where it takes us. Seville was one of the runs, wasn't it? I mean, we weren't great domestically that year either. But see the teams that we beat. By God, some performances against Dortmund and Leipzig and Red Star, you know, to take us all the way to Seville. Nene's kind of gave us a kind of second thought of getting to Seville, but we got there. We got there through will and fight and endeavour and collectedness. This team have yet to show us that. We showed it at Celtic Park, so they've got it in them, but they need to produce consistency, and that's where it falls apart. Listen, Bridge, I was thinking there, you maybe know this. See the song that we've got, There's Not a Team Like the Glasgow Rangers, there's a line in it. Celtic know all about their troubles.
Absolutely, yeah.
How long ago was that?
Oh, for God's sake. A long time ago. Oh, wow. Wow. I mean, please remember, before Jock Stein, Celtic weren't a good team. They were good in patches. But when Stein came in, he changed them dramatically, you know. So from the early 60s right through, they were absolutely dynamite. We couldn't do anything against them. But they weren't great. They weren't a great team. Rangers were the team for the 50s and 60s. And I don't know whether Celtic had problems at that time. And I don't know if my mind's saying, you're asking, were there the problems that they've got with the court thing, you know? I don't know if that was the case. I wouldn't be surprised. Nothing would surprise me if that's what they're talking about then. But I really don't know. We never heard it. It was never, shall we say, it was never open that I know of. And it must have been close to it because Jock Stein, you know, Big Jock knew, you know. You follow what I mean?
He wrote it in his book.
Yeah. I'm saying Big Jock knew, you know. So Jock came in the 60s. So we're talking back into the 50s, and that's when they might have had the troubles. Absolutely. That's maybe when it started.
And we just lost 100 listeners.
Why? Why?
From the other side.
All right, I see. I mean, apologies. But I honestly don't know. But it wouldn't surprise me. I don't want to besmirch anyone on any sides. But I really don't know. But you put two and two together. Just take it back to the 60s. It was Jock Stein, and before that, they weren't a great team. When Jock Stein came, they were. You know, so I don't know what was going on. But Big Jock knew. Simple as that. Should have been.
Tomorrow night, the support will be under the spotlight. So tomorrow night, everybody that goes into the stadium need to be boxing clever. We don't want a stupid charge or blocking passage-wise, because that's one that they seem to fling at a lot of. The British clubs seem to get it. Anytime I've ever seen it, looking at it, I've seen Liverpool being done with it, Aston Villa get done with it. So it seems to be a thing that they seem to hit British clubs with.
Can you do a favour? Going to tell us what you think they mean by blocking passageways?
Well, I don't know, because where I sit, right, I don't see anybody blocking the passageways. At the same time, I see the last game where we had the charge, there was a lot of stewards right down the stairwell round about the UB in each section. I don't see much blockage or passageways, and I see stewards the same in the governing stuff, bridging and the Broomland. So I don't know where this sort of where it is that's happening. But it seems to be a charge that we've had levied at us. But I just think they'll be looking, obviously, at the songbook. Also looking that nobody flings any missiles or anything like that during the game. Apart from that, I think that's what we need to make sure that doesn't happen. The more to give anybody any excuse, Stevie, to be looking in and giving us any grief.
Is a pie classed as a missile?
You usually have about 2 of them, so you've usually got about 2 missiles getting in your tummy, if you know.
A projectile, no a missile, a projectile. No, see if you wanted to hurt anybody with one of the pies at Ibrox, you'd make them eat it. Honestly, they're rotten. But anyway, that's something you should go into the catering with them south side. Just let me tell you, your pies are excellent. For me, tomorrow night, Bells, just behave yourself. You don't want any away support getting tickets to Arthur and all the rest of it. We know what we've got today. Just get back to basics. Get just 90 minutes, get behind the team. You know, the add-ons and all the rest of it. Just do what we do. Just keep our noses clean. Let's get through this round. It's going to be hard enough, with players. And just get behind the team and let's do it. Me and Bridgeman will be there with a half bottle at the party at the Stairs tomorrow night. Is that correct, Bridge? You'll be there.
Go yourself.
Yes, I've got you a bottle of Scrumpy.
Go on yourself, bud.
Scrumpy.
No, I've got my flask of tea. I've got a half bottle.
Man's looking for a drink of Don Perignon or something. For Pete's sake, you're off on the mat. Bridge.
My wife wouldn't let me drink it on my own. She would take it off me. She likes that stuff. Champagne.
On Perignon. That one of their
Perignon. James Bond.
When we used to, back in the day when we done the Euro trips on the bus and used to get across in the ferry, where you had the duty free, you'd always go in and get a couple of nice bottles of champagne.
Is that the Govan ferry?
Govan-Derry.
Sorry, pal.
You know that song, We Are the Govan-Derry. Champagne, Stevie, that's what we used to get. The troops used to like a nice bottle of champagne. Always came free of charge.
Did you have strawberries with a champagne?
No, some of them needed a sick. Some of them needed a sick bucket later on. But no, I like to have a wee tip of real champagne back in the day.
They say the strawberries bring out the flavour in the champagne, just for all you champagne listeners, you know.
You think of tennis or something, aye? Think of Wimbledon.
Tennis, brilliant. Brilliant. No for me. Oh no, I'm a tequila rose man. I like the old Galveston. It's pink. It looks like Galveston. It's magic. Black.
You got a cheek to slag Jack Buckland for wearing pink and you're drinking.
Galveston.
What colour did you say it was again? What colour did you say it was?
Pink.
Mr. Blobby.
No house party.
So no, AK, as we said, support tomorrow night, loud and proud. Hopefully the team will give something, they'll come out and go on the front foot. I'd like to think that we've got players and we know we can hurt teams. We've done it in Europe all season, so we know they're a good team, but we're hoping we'll be able to expose them in some areas, and if we get some chances, whoever's on the park will take them.
Aye, absolutely. I mean, it's one of the games, as I say, everybody outside Rangers has wrote us off. Even sections of their supporters wrote us off. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I've never went into the thought process of, the game's done before you've kicked a ball. So just let's see where it takes us. But we need to be better than what we have been, because the last 5 Ibrox performances has been well below standard. So Barry's looking for a reaction. He'll have kicked a few backsides there in his team meeting at the start of the week. He says that they've done some kind of formation changes. There might be personnel changes. We'll just need to wait and see. But he's certainly coming out, shooting for the hip, so to speak. So we'll just need to see what sort of team he's going to pick, and hopefully the players take on board and just win. Win for the team, win for the support, win for yourselves, and see where it takes us.
AK, I've got to give you 10 out of 10. Your positivity is brilliant. Refreshing to listen to. You're the same as myself. We're at Ibrox. We're the Glasgow Rangers. We've played better teams than them at Ibrox. Let's go out and do the business, Rangers. I'll be there. Taps off. Bridge will have a flask of tea. I'll have a half bottle and my flute. And we'll be at the big party behind the Coatland Road. Where are you be? Come on, Rangers!
Yes.
So about Thursday nights under the lights at Ibrox, and like you said, we'll beat better teams in Europe. And why no? We know they're a good team. We know they've got good players. We know they're doing well in Spain. But we're at home and we've got nothing to fear. And if we can go out and the players have managed to get everything sorted out and they get their heads right and we get the system and it's good enough and make sure that we're good at the back and we defend well, then why no? Like you said, we've done well in Europe this year already. We've beat teams and drew with teams that people thought we had no chance against. We know they're better than Fenerbahce, but we've been through against them with our two legs. So it's now Atletico Bilbao. They're the team that's got all the incentive, because at first they're hoping to be in the final where it's getting played in their stadium. And they've got some young and good, exciting players. So, but Journey's in form. Fignaman's picked, he's playing. Dessers has done well in Europe. There's not so much at home in the league performances, although he scored 20 odd goals this season in all competitions. Hope the midfield's good and tight, and whoever he plays in goals and whoever plays at the back, just do what's required. Bridgeman, just make sure you win your duels and you build for there. But we don't stand after them and we don't give them time to play.
Yeah, 100%. We're going to be, shall we say, hoping the team does well. My personal opinion is the team will do well, and we'll get a really good chance. Unfortunately, from a player perspective, I don't know who's available and who it'll be. I'll be delighted to see it. But I still think we're at Ibrox in a European night. We should be able to do it and put a good game on. And then we'll find out whether we've got it for this level of Europe or not. But please, just go out there and do it. And by the way, can I just say to the fans that go there, leave everything off the pitch, right? Don't put in on the pitch. It's all the off the pitch activities that are getting the fans a bad name and getting Rangers a bad name as a club, and any fines that go along with our bans. Leave that alone, please. Please, 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 please. Huge game. They're a European and everybody's watching it. And they're only hoping, the baddies are only hoping we go down. That's it. So be sensible, do what we can do.
Right, gentlemen, we've came to that end time of the night. AK, final words, and thanks for phoning in and joining us tonight.
Aye, pleasure as always, guys. Good to listen to you again. Well done for your show tonight. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Silence is acceptance. Justice for the victims. Come on, the Rangers.
Cheers, big man. Always welcome. You phone in when you're doing a show. Appreciate it. Stevie.
Right, brilliant. Great being on with my fellow townsman, the bridge man, drum chapel boy, Kingsley man. Absolute legend at Rangers Radio. We talk about legends and good guys. Bridge can't be touched. I've got Bridge on a t-shirt. He's absolutely a legend. And I'm telling you right now, Southside, I'm telling you, party time on Thursday. You can go to that Coatland Road with me and Bridge man. You can pick up a tea with Bridge while I'm doing the business.
Oh, brilliant. This is brilliant.
Yeah, So listen, boys, let's just keep our peckers up. We know our team's hot and cold, but we've been doing good in Europe. So let's draw a line on Thursday, get in there, unite it with the team, and give them every bit of backing that they're due. What a platform, free platform for the Teddy Bears. Thanks to AK for phoning in. Brilliant. I'll see you later on. All right, over now. Come on, Rangers.
Cheers, big man. Thank you. And AK and also Bridgeman, I'll come to you in a second, Bridge. Thank you three for helping us out with the show tonight. I thoroughly appreciate it. And thank all the troops on the YouTube channel that are on all the time supporting the show. So I'd like to thank them for listening into the show and all. Bridgeman, final words?
Oh, yes. Thanks very much. Marvellous show tonight, by the way. Loved it. Absolutely superb. Thanks to yourself, Southside, and Big Stevie, and of course, AK, and the boys in the background, techie boys in the background. To all the Rangers fans listening all over the world, tomorrow, biggest game of the season. True. Biggest game of the season. So everybody, keep it going for the Rangers because they really need us. Tomorrow night, keep it going.
Aye, that's what we've got today. Tomorrow night, massive game, quarter-final Europa League tie, and hopefully we can get ourselves one step closer into the semi-final. So we know what's at stake tomorrow, Rangers. Just let's do this tomorrow. Stand up and be counted. We'll be supporting you for the stands, and hopefully you'll put a performance on the park that will get us to a victory in a famous night on a Thursday at Ibrox Stadium. Thanks to Old School Blue and Fox for doing the show. I think we'll be back on tomorrow night, approximately it's 7:15. 7 o'clock, I think. We'll have a show about 7 o'clock. I believe, if not, it'll be a wee bit earlier. But apart from that, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. And as always, there's only one team and one crown. Take it away, Fox.
I just want to give my mum and dad a wee shout out tonight. All the best, Dan and Alec. Hope you're keeping well. Love you.